Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the FEU Career and Placement Office Pre-Employment Preparation Talk or PEP Talk webinar series for the first semester of school year 2021 to 2022. I'm sure for the regular PEP Talk viewers, you know me already, but for those watching us for the first time, this is Ron Gascon, the coordinator of the FEU Career and Placement Office or CAPO. I'm also a faculty member of the Interdisciplinary Studies Department of IAS, and I'm your MC and moderator for this afternoon's webinar. Pep Talk is a regular virtual series designed to prepare the students for employment by equipping them with necessary knowledge through talks focusing on various topics delivered by industry professionals and experts. And you can see on the screens now, these are the previous Pep Talk webinars that we conducted from previous semesters until the present. You may rewatch them at your most convenient time at the Career and Placement Office official Facebook page and at the FEU YouTube channel. Today's webinar is also being live streamed on FEU and CAPO's official Facebook pages. To participate in our Q&A segment, you may submit your comments and questions anytime by posting at our conversation page. It can be found at the right side of your screen if you're using a desktop or at the live Q&A tab if you're using a mobile phone or other portable device. For our viewers watching through the FEU Facebook live streaming, we encourage you also to engage with us by posting your questions or reactions on the comment section as well. So we really anticipate your participation as we progress in this afternoon's webinar. Even up until the 21st century, intelligence has been used as a metric of success, and that excellence is a result of a person's intellectual capacity and cognitive abilities. However, success is not only measured by one's accomplishments, but is also dependent upon how capable an individual is to endure in times of conflicts and adversities. The present world health crisis made our journey more challenging, and the need to develop skills and abilities to overcome hardships coined as AQ or adversity quotient has never been this crucial and essential. How can adversity quotient or AQ, defined as the ability of an individual to think, manage, direct, and endure challenges and difficulties in life, become our own source of strength as we face another school year? Why is developing our AQ an important aspect of our holistic growth in our university life and even in the workplace? FEU CAPO presents its Pre-Employment Preparation Talk or PEP Talk webinar titled From A to Q, Our Adversity Quotient, Our Strength. This webinar episode is also brought to you by FEU CAPO in collaboration with the Guidance and Counseling or GNC and with our digital media partner, the Marketing and Communication Office. Stay tuned as we discover more how we can effectively develop our AQ or adversity quotient from our PEP Talk resource speaker. Just a reminder, please make sure that your microphones are on mute to avoid causing any unnecessary noise. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Let us maximize our time by learning from today's webinar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the opening remarks and introduction of our resource speaker, may I call on the Director of the Career and Placement Office, Ms. Maria Carmencita Babes Suva Alfonso. Hi, Ma'am Babes. Good afternoon. The screen is yours.
Hi, Sir Ron. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. A year ago, when pandemic came, we were all aghast and it felt like our world stopped. Everything changed, especially in school, from on-site to off-site or online classes, and from face-to-face to online activities and school transactions. While it felt like our world stopped, we at CAPO asked ourselves, what can we do? Shall we wait for things to get better? But why wait for good things to happen when we can make it happen now? Hence, the recalibration and migration of our activities to be able to continue on providing opportunities to our dear students. Since then, the FEU Career and Placement Office, or CAPO, has successfully run a series of webinars to orient our students the basics of working, finding a job, and essential know-how entrepreneurship, gaining higher studies in pursuit of their career goals amidst the new normal. We have also successfully rolled out all other online activities to help prepare our internship and graduating students for the new world of work. online mock interview with coaching, online exclusive recruitment, online recruitment exclusive for Tamaraos or ORETAMS, which is FU's first virtual job fair, student exposure to partner organization or student expo, and young leaders educational dialogue or ULEAD to name a few. Let me show you a short video clip of CAPO's activities the previous months. Video, please. For this semester's activities, please check out our event posters and calendar of activities. We shall be posting this in the official FU social media sites and Canvas. Now, as we provide a holistic approach in our students' career and career development, we continue to offer meaningful activities and programs to help prepare and guide them in their life design, whether they want to have a successful career, build their own empire, or become a freelance professional to thrive in the new normal. For today's episode titled From A to Q, Our Adversity Quotient, Our Strength, by one of the most prolific resource speakers in the fields of psychology and guidance and counseling. This this pep talk today is very relevant as we continue to adjust and thrive in this new normal way of doing things, not only in school, but in the long term, the world of work as well. On that note, I would like to end with my usual reminder while it is not going to be easy to sort out the challenges in this new situation that we are in, always remember the mantra be brave, because Tamaraos have always been resilient to whatever comes our way. Please do always remember that. And now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our speaker. She was the former president of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, or PGCA, the premier and PRC accredited integrated professional organization for counselors in the country. She was also the former branch leader for the American Counseling Association. Moreover, she is a PRC CPD Council, Guidance Director, Accreditor, Human Curricular Developer, Educator, Trainer, Researcher, and staunch advocate for anti-bullying, career development, mental health, family, marriage, life, and child protection. Currently, she's the director of FEU Manila and Makati branches that oversees the management of the different programs and services of the FEU Guidance and Counseling Office. As a consultant and educator, she's currently the consultant of 5BC, Child Farm Possibilities Psychological Solutions, Rex Publication, Project Inclusion, and Unilab Foundation. She also authored the My Career Journey book series for students and teachers at the Rex Publication. No to Bullying Handbook under Pedia Pharma Foundation, Remote Psychosocial Support through Play and Learners Playbook of DepEd, Unilab Foundation, PGCA and Resilience Toolkit at Unilab Foundation. Moreover, she's a research peer reviewer for Elsevier and Routledge. She also earned a certificate course on globalization of school psychology at the University of Nebraska, Kearney, USA, a certificate course on clinical counseling supervision by the Australian Counselling Association and Optimize Potential Australia, cognitive behavior therapy course at the Beck's Institute, Philadelphia, USA. She also earned all her degrees, such as PhD in guidance and counseling, MA in clinical psychology, BS Psychology magna cum laude in UST. She earned her 12 units of special education at St. Joseph's Graduate School. She's also registered guidance counselor, registered teacher, registered psychologist, registered psychometrician, certified counseling psychologist, certified assessment psychologist, and certified clinical and counseling supervisor by the Australian Counselling Association. Some of our achievements are making PGCA won the American Counseling Association Branch Best Innovative Practice Award last April 2018, being the most outstanding alumni awardee for UST Professional Achievement in Guidance and Counseling last February 2018. Most outstanding UST Graduate School alumni for Psychology and Guidance Counseling Practice. Most outstanding faculty club member of UST Guidance and Counseling Department on school year 2008 to 2009 during the Tanglao Awards, and having FEU Guidance and Counseling won the PGCA's Best Guidance Program and Services in the country last May 2011. Likewise, she is also recipient of various grants and scholarships. She is also the founder of the Peer Organization of the Philippines, part of the Leadership Team Program, head for the DOH National Center for Mental Health Wellness Program, and mental health advocacy for the youth in the country. Former auditor of UST Graduate School alumni and student leader. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, Dr. Sheila Marie Hocson. Doc Shake, the virtual floor
Hi.
is yours. Thank you very much. Grabe, grabe ang
Yeah,
ano,
yeah. So thank you so much,
accomplishments.
Mom
Opo.
Babes, as always, for the invite, no, for the loving invite. Of course, to Sir Rondell, of course, to Mom Kathleen, and of course, to
Thank you,
all
ma'am.
your persevering interns there, Mom Mary, Angelou, and Chelsea, to the CAPO family, and of course, to our FEU family. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, and it is with absolute honor and pleasure to serve you through my talk. No? Okay. So I'll be sharing my slide. Yeah. Okay. So this is my slide, and I will just ask if I'm audible and if it is moving as well. Yeah. Is it
Yes, you're
moving?
audible. Yes po,
Yeah.
Doc.
Thank you po. Maraming salamat. And the title of my talk for this afternoon, it's all about from A to Q, our adversity quotient, our strength. And you can just call me Shake. And of course, I'm from FEU Guidance and Counseling. And this is a collaborative activity of CAPO and, of course, of FEU GNC. Okay? And it is with absolute honor and pleasure to serve again our dear Tamaraos. And of course, I'm encouraging everyone to participate with our activity through the chat and comment section. And I will be using the hashtag well-being. Now, I never use the Padlet or the Mentimeter or the poll everywhere, because I know that somewhat our signal is not stable in the country. So I'll be using the basic one. Okay? And before I start, I would like to have an agreement with all of you, dear students, and of course, dear professionals in the future, no? That I do hope that we can focus on the following. Number one is our strengths of adversity quotient, especially in these challenging times wherein our AQ and our resiliency quotient is definitely being tested. And I do hope that we also focus on our strengths of holistic well-being, especially in these uncertain times. I do hope that we also focus on our family, our loved ones, our friends in the future, our office mates for those working here, now working student, our office mates, and of course the strength of our school, Far Eastern University, of course our company, okay, our organization, our church, and of course our community in Manila, and of course our strength of our country. And I do hope that we nourish and cultivate our strengths that is inherent with us, supported by our environmental strengths. And I do hope that we are grateful for our gift of strengths, especially rooted from our cognition that can become our belief, our philosophy, and of course, our growing mindset, our feeling, our behavior, and our character strength that will also give us not only the IQ, as what mentioned by Sir Rondell, but to become a flourishing professional, you also have to have what you call the AQ, which is the adversity quotient. And of course, we also have our EQ, the emotional quotient, the diversity quotient, the spiritual quotient, the social quotient, the digital well-being quotient, no, and a lot more. But our focus now is to become, no, a strength-based individual rooted from our AQ. And according to Pamela Grout, no, who is one of my idols, no, 2020 that whatever you focus on expands. Okay, and Grout is one of the best-selling authors in New York, and most of her books are what they call on force, on positive energy, and we always believe that we should not be on the problem, but we should be focusing more on the solutions. No? And it's okay not to be okay, but just don't stay on not being okay. No, you really have to bounce back by your adversity quotient. And our objectives for this afternoon is that I do hope that we can discover, I do hope that we can cultivate and value our strengths of AQ and well-being to navigate and to recalibrate our mind in these uncertain times. And this is our situation. And this is what they call the age of disruption. We're in, of course, from the traditional setup that we are now into our online classroom, our online internship, and in the future, maybe our online work as well. We're in, most of us are into what you call our work from home. And of course, really, this social media um, communities that we are also having. That's why we also have some webinars. And this is also the study of Hootsuite, and this Hootsuite's research talks about the latest insights and how people around the world use the internet, okay, our social media, our mobile devices, and e-commerce. Okay? And we have to be aware that in the write-up of Baklig in February 2020, February 1, 2021, that the Philippines is for the sixth straight year, no, remains as the top country worldwide, no, to be most active in our internet and social media. So there are advantages, of course, on what we are into the digital technology and the digital interest, no? But of course there are also a lot of disadvantages, no? Wherein we tend to have a lot of disruptions in this really tech savvy world that we have. And because of that, because of the disruptions, maybe there are also procrastinations, no? Lack of planning, no? And at the same time, the COVID-19, no, really attacks us. That really tends us to really give a very fragile world that is very uncertain, complex, buka, volatile, no? And at the same time, ambiguous. And I do hope that as an FEU student, that I do hope that this year, as a student, and as you also go for your vision to become professional in the future, I do hope that you can be guided by your vision so that you can definitely really have the fortitude, no? To really be resilient in these challenging times. And this vision will give us the foresight and the direction. And this will also give us the understanding, the clarity, and the agility, wherein we will have what we call the really the growing mindset to be flexible, to really be accepting of the many challenges and opportunities, and at the same time to be accountable Tamaraw professionals in the future. And these are the many stresses that really disturbs our sanity, no? Okay, and of course also as a student, no? Okay, with the online learning that we are having, wherein there are also a lot of maladjustments. So the stresses that we are facing are decrease in nonverbal stimuli. We miss our friends, our classmates, and even our beautiful school. Okay, distractions at home, our finances, our values applications, our tendency to be unproductive or to work. There are negative thoughts about ourselves, our family, our work, and maybe our future as well. If we can really be competent in the future, our excess baggages, our unforgiveness, and unfinished businesses, our confusions. Maybe we were also shattered by our life choices and career decisions that along the way you want to change career, no? Because of these adversities coming from our stresses. And at the same time, the feeling of being watched, the need to perform and meet output and expectations, and a lot of isolation, uncertainty, and of course, a lack of peer support. And of course, we have a lot of Zoom fatigue, no, a lot of canvas fatigue, a lot of Teams fatigue, no, okay, Messenger and Viber, etc. Okay, and according to BAR 2017, and as early in the evidence-based research of Sharkin in 2016, that 2006, that it was really validated that we really have some emotional distress and some warning signs of mental illness because of online learning. Okay? And the effects are more on the atypical behavior. We tend to be irritable, have short-tempered, no, obsessive, okay? Somewhat sudden deterioration in our quality of work outputs, late assignments, being late in class, being present but our mind is not present. Okay? There are also a lot of instances or incidents or tendencies of the emails are having some tendencies for being accusatory, manipulative, sexually inappropriate, no? And our discussion post contents are somewhat bizarre, black, no? Dark posting, paranoid, disruptive, okay? And of course, some failure in our quality of work outputs and work, late assignments, no? Okay? And a lot more, okay? And because of that, we also tend to do a lot of oversharing, okay? Wherein we tend to post our personal drama, okay? Even how private it is, venting every emotion via social media, a lot of pictures and a lot of family events, posting nude, at worst, posting nude and embarrassing videos or pictures, and even venting every emotion via social media that cause and, of course, spread a lot of stresses among our followers. And there's also what we call sad fishing. Okay? And these are some of the signs that we cannot cope with these challenging times, wherein we spread unhappiness in our online platform and we express in a vague way, and we really seek a lot of attentions and likes, and of course sympathetic response. And I do hope that we can be having the strength, no? Especially in our thoughts, feelings, and behavior, and of course in our behavior in an in our online world, no? Because always remember that even though we have our own wall, okay, always remember that we can post anything in our social media or other platforms, but also always remember that that right is not absolute, especially if we are stepping on the rights of the individual or our followers to have a safe space. Okay? And if we trigger negativities, no, in the social media, like our uh, our posting are usually somewhat dark, somewhat really spreading a lot of stress, or in Tagalog, no, it's more about really maraming parinig, no, okay? And these are some of the effects of the stresses and adversities that we are facing in the new normal. And sometimes ito ay sumasabog or kumakalat. And we cannot handle it, no, with our self-control, no, because of poor adversity quotient as well. Okay? And we are doing uh, we 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 somewhat use, no, our social media and our online platform to become SpongeBob, no? To be the shock absorber of our negativities, wherein definitely there's a problem of boundaries, and this can also be somewhat a sign and symptom of some mental health problems, especially of boundaries. And of course, in the study of the independent, that sad fishing is definitely what threatening a lot of teenagers' mental health. Because if you post negative things, this can also trigger, no, some mental health concerns, especially for those who are already having some mental health problems or stress. Okay? And we are creating an emotional contagion wherein we are also spreading a lot of challenges and adversities, okay, in our online world. Okay? And because of that, this can also be what they call a trigger, no? And risk for loss of reality, okay? Sleeplessness, anxiety, tendency for depression and loneliness because also of our isolation, we cannot go out. And of course, a lot of addiction, especially in our gadget. Okay? And these are some of the tendencies and problems that can really lead to some mental health problems as well. That's why it's very important that in these small stresses that can lead to burnout and distress, I do hope that we can, in the mental health continuum, I do hope that we can have the strengths that is inherent with us, backed up by our AQ or our adversity quotient, a lot of compassion and attachment. so that we can prevent this mental health problem and symptoms that we are facing, like this major depressive disorder, especially lack of sleep, no? Okay? Becoming agitated, loss of energy, that can definitely affect not only our academics but even our future career our future career, and at the same time our dreams and aspirations in our lives. And of course, that's why it's very sad to say that because of this environment that we are in now, the technology, the pandemic, no? That in the Business Insider, in the write-up of Akhtar and Cares, that suicide is Gen Z's second leading cause of death. And it's the worst epidemic than anything millennials have to face. No? And in September, this September, we are celebrating also the Suicide Prevention Month. That's why it's in order for us to also prevent this mental health problem and to really flourish and reach our dreams and career development. I do hope that we can prevent this adversity. So we are more on promotion of awareness and prevention rather than into treatment. Okay? And I do hope that we can prevent this lockdown and these adversities into becoming a breakdown, which is worse, no? Compared to our lockdown. Because there's no single vaccine for mental health problem, but it will entail a lot of medications and of course at the same time therapy. So this is the anchor of the webinar, and the model that I'm using now is in the model of Paul Stoltz, or Dr. Paul G. Stoltz, that talks about adversity quotient. And according to him, and also his books, that the AQ, or the adversity quotient, is the science of resilience. And at the same time, when we hire people, I always go for resilience, which is one of the soft skills that we really need to have as an employee now because of the many stress, especially in the online world and of course in the work from home. Wherein most of the works that we are doing from the traditional are really doubled by our work from home setup. And we have to be prepared for it. Eh? And this is my little family. And I always believe that in order for you to develop no, your different quotient, especially your adversity quotient, that everything starts at home. No, your family, and along the way, if you don't have your family because of some problems in the family, no, and I cannot blame you for that. I do hope that you can have your anchor, no, your relatives, your guardians, your grandparents that can definitely be your family. And always remember that this is the first nourishing environment of your IQ, your EQ, of course, your adversity quotient, and of course, your character strengths. Your character strengths of resilience, your character strengths of gratitude, of humility, of transcendence. That amidst this negative environment that we are facing, that I do hope that you can see the silver lining of this pandemic, and you have the AQ to solve your problem and confront it through our bravery in FEU, the bravery to confront our problems and to do something about it, and not just blaming the government, blaming our family, blaming our school. Okay? And when you talk about IQ, which is also needed in your career development, that's what they call capability. That's why as psychologists and counselor, we check the IQ of the students so that we can see if they are capable for college learning or university life. Okay? The emotional quotient is the will, no? Especially to control our emotions, no? Okay? Online and offline. Our spiritual quotient is knowing your purpose and meaning in your life, while AQ is what they call adversity quotient, or the response to adversity. How do we healthily respond to our adversities? Okay? And in our chat box, no, I do hope that we can have Sir Randall to anchor me, and we will ask you, what is the first symbol that comes to your mind when you talk about adversity quotient? Okay? Or Sir Randall, can I can I also interview you?
Hi,
Hello,
yes,
hello,
Doc
sir.
Shake. What's the first symbol that comes to your mind when you talk about adversity quotient?
Yeah,
Wow.
parang
Uh,
I'm talking to a radio announcer. Ang ganda ng boses. So an
um,
architect with a nice voice as well. Yeah. What can
well,
you say? And we can also encourage our students to also write their symbol or word that comes to their mind. But you, what is
yeah,
the first symbol?
I don't know. It just popped up in my head. No, a magnifying glass. It's a magnifying
Yeah.
glass. Yeah.
And what do you mean by that magnifying glass? It's very metaphorical.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's really like when you talk about adversity quotient, you're trying to look at from the general to the details of any situation so that you'll
Yeah.
understand it further and you will see also the factors that would lead you to a certain situation or scenario and to understand also how you could see, how yourself is related to other elements or other factors, in that brought you in that particular situation. So that's
Yeah,
why,
very good. No, going to the really going
correct.
to the lens, no, and not just becoming reactive. Because usually when you have a poor adversity quotient, you always tweet, 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 and tweet, and at the same time, most of the people are somewhat disturbed by your ranting, no. But at the same time, it's really going to the lens and becoming quiet, breathe, no, and digesting the problem before overreacting, no, but more on a healthy response, right?
Yes, I agree with that, Doc Shake. And it's really something that's difficult, challenging nowadays because of all the distractions that we experience. Yes, the technological advancement, the gadget, the social media. It seems like it's more difficult to disturb people, no, to really disturb our and to also get our attention nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, it's true, no? And sir, if I may ask, baka lang there are some students who are writing, and we are encouraging our students to also participate with our CAPO talk for today, so that we can also learn from you and also see your also see your perspective as a student of this new
Yes.
generation and in these challenging times that we have.
Yes, Doc Shake, anonymous, no, from a student, though, did not mention the name, no, disclose, no.
Yeah,
Hi, Doc or Miss. The first thing or symbol that comes in my mind when I hear about adversity quotient is the moon. Oh,
yeah.
di lang ako, ma'am,
And
ang metaphorical.
And sa tingin mo, Sir Randall, because we cannot interview our students now, no, because of the setup that we have. But what can you say about the moon and what's the meaning of that?
I think it's always characterized or connected,
Light
no,
in the darkness, light
or
in
the
the
light in the
darkness
darkness,
ba?
or there's a sense of serenity or calmness or that comes with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so it also makes something more special. Or the moon is also it's like a symbol of hope in a way, right?
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, no. So even in the darkness, at the end of the tunnel, there's always light. And yeah, in the morning we have the sun, and in the evening, no, we have our light again. So a symbol of light and hope. Very good. I like that. No. And are there any symbols pa ba?
Mukhang nagta-type pa sila, Doc Shake, no?
Nahihiya sila.
Oo nga
Yeah, yeah,
eh.
yeah. Baka mahihiyain sila. And yeah, when you also talk about the symbol, at the same time, you can also see the values of the people by the simple question of symbol. And I think in your lens, somewhat, I think you have an open perspective, no, in seeing the problem and not just becoming so impulsive with in really somewhat dealing with your problem, no? Okay. And of course your maturity as well, Sir Rondell, especially with your
Yes.
experience and your education.
Okay, there's one also. Yeah, it did not give. Yeah, the word is hope. Yeah, from one of our student participants
Wow,
here.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely hope is one of the psychological capital, no? And if you have really the character strength of hope, no? Somewhat this can help you to really increase your adversity quotient. Very good. Yeah. So thank you so much. And if there are some students who still want to participate, you can definitely type it. And at the same time, if you have reflections or some questions that you want to also share, of course, if you want to also keep it confidential, definitely we'll respect that, and of course we'll answer it at the end of the activity. So thank you so much. Yeah. And according to some of the related lead that we have, that adversity quotient is not really giving up, no, but it's really turning obstacles into opportunities, no. So I do hope that in the perspective or the lens of Sir Randall, you can see that there are also a lot of opportunities in the many problems that you are facing, just like in this pandemic. No, at first, becoming a professor and counselor in the new normal is hard, but at the same time now, no, somewhat everything will be somewhat adjusted already. And it created you a lot of opportunities. Before, I'm not into webinar, no, but now I'm used to it and I'm loving it, no. Because before, when I give a talk, for example, I go to Mindanao, and then I have to really be back with my children. It's really a tiring day for me. But now I can give a talk in Mindanao in the morning. In the afternoon, I can go to an international talk or to another place. No? So I do hope that as you see the adversity quotient, I do hope that you can also see the silver lining. That amidst the negative things that happen in the pandemic, that we can see a lot of opportunities. No? And Sir Randall, for you, what are the opportunities that was given by the pandemic?
I think it also made me realize and reflect a lot of things like my goals in life, what I really want to achieve, and also gave me more time to take care of my family. I think pre-pandemic rather, we did not have that chance to really connect with our family members in a more intimate or in a more in a tighter way, no, in
Yeah, in
terms
a
of
quality
understanding.
time, no,
Yeah,
because of
correct.
because of a lot of work, traffic, no, okay, that's good, and a lot of distractions, yeah. So I
And
do hope that,
discovering other skills, Doc Shake, no, you discover
yeah,
other skills.
yeah, very good, no. Most of our unrealized skills before were definitely realized in this pandemic. For me, one of the things that really, no, really that was really realized for me is really for this webinar, no, to really be somewhat confident and somewhat I can already navigate some of the platforms that we have, no, okay, and be more techy, no, in this challenging times. So thank you, Sir Randall. And if uh, if the pandemic also gave you some opportunities, so kindly also chat it or put it in our comment box, and we will definitely read that so that we can also learn from you guys, no, and also be open again for the perspective of the students. Okay. So the adversity quotient is also building that as we face adversity, this is also building psychological resilience, or what you call the ability to bounce back. Okay? So it's okay not to be okay, but at the same time, don't stay on not being okay. No? So if you can see my hand in the resiliency model, that if you can go down with your problem, the one that will help you, okay, back back it up, no, okay, and really push you to bounce back in that difficulty is what you call your adversity quotient. Okay, and this is definitely rooted from your thoughts, no, okay, rooted from your mindset, okay, and rooted from your heart and your character to be resilient, and you will find happiness along the way. If you will solve your problem, you will become a stronger person. You will get the wisdom of that problem, of that weakness, and you can recalibrate it to become your strength. Okay, and you will definitely be expert on that weakness. Okay, and of course, adversity for some causes some men to break. No, but with those with high AQ, this will definitely be breaking a lot of records. And I know that I love reading a lot of books about the life of the presidents, the life of our saints, no, the life of our heads. And sometimes it really gives me a lot of inspiration because they were really the wounded, no, person that really bounced back, and now they are really uh, successful not only in their money but holistically in their career, in their community works, no, in their other developments in life, and even in their technology, and in their somewhat in their relationship with different types of people. And in the quote of Greg Norman, I do hope that you know your strengths, especially that is within you, your AQ, that is definitely embedded with you. And I do hope that you can take advantage of them. Okay? And we are now into what you call, in the study of Leadbeater et al. And as cited by the American Psychological Association, that I do hope that in order for us to really solve our problem and increase our adversity quotient, that we can definitely, no, look at the the problems that we have, but just get the wisdom and don't stay for long. But I do hope that you know how to recalibrate it to become our strengths. No? And if we focus on our strengths, this can build more strengths. It can have a long-term impact. It can be more on prevention rather than intervention and treatment. It will give you proactive planning rather than complaining. And of course, it can also target variations of risk and the strength of the population, even though you have severe or mild or profound problems. Okay? And the formula for strength, in order for you to really develop your AQ, is that I do hope that you are aware that you have your inherent talent. And that is what you call the natural way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. And if in order for you to really reach your dreams, you want to become a, a professional and successful architect like Sir Randall, or psychologist, or a medtech student, or a medtech professional, or a doctor, a lawyer, etc. I do hope that you can multiply it with a lot of investment, which is definitely perseverance. No? Okay? To really exert a lot of purposeful effort to practice, develop, be mentored, okay? And build your knowledge, your skills, your values, your attitude. Okay? And if you combine this talent and investment, you can definitely have the strength, no? And you will definitely be stronger. Okay? And if you have this strength, this is the ability to constantly provide near perfect performance. And you won't have a difficulty, no, in your profession. And you will master it, and you will become your expert in your field, and success, holistic success will follow. Okay? And these are the different types of AQ. So in the metaphor of a tree, there's what they call the quitter, which are described among the leaves and the twigs. And adversity quotient is low. So if you are into the leaves and the twigs, these are the people who what, who just gives up easily. No? They wither off like a dry leaves, twigs with a small wind. No? So pag there's a problem, they just give up easily. Okay? And then number two, okay, because they think that they cannot make it, no? Based on their cognition, and their heart is also what, nervous, no? And their behavior will be quitting, and definitely somewhat be a loser. Okay? And the second type will be campers, or what they call the branches and the trunks. So the AQ is medium. They withstand a bit. They will try, but along the way, in the middle of the journey, they will quit. No? Okay? And I do hope that we can become the climbers, or the really the deeply rooted individual with AQ. Okay? Wherein AQ is the highest. No? And of course, these are the die-hard, the tough, the resilient, never gives up in life, and keeps growing. Because what? Because their purpose and their mission is definitely embedded. Okay? Rooted from their loved ones, rooted from their school, rooted from their experiences in life. Okay? And can we see the comment of the our students, if what are the types of your AQ? Is it more on the low, which are the quitters? Are they more or are they more of the campers, or are they more of the climbers? Okay, so you can definitely type it. So one, quitter, if you are having a low AQ. Two is a camper, okay, medium AQ, and three is climber. That is what you call high AQ. Okay, so you can type it. And Sir Rondell, do you have what? A high AQ, a medium, or a low AQ? What can you say? Or a high AQ?
I think I'm in the climbers, no, yung parang deep roots. Um,
Yeah.
I
And
because
what
yeah,
made you have a high AQ?
I would say the reason why I also chose this profession to become a teacher, especially in college level, is something that made me realize how I could also help students, and how can also I become a pillar of strength for others, especially in this difficult situation wherein our online class becomes also a very safe, mature, and critical environment where students can just speak up, share their stories. They're really looking for safe spaces right now. And I think that's the reason why I could say that in my own way, as a teacher, I'm also showing, I'm aware of the level of AQ that I have. But of course, I think it's also a disadvantage sometimes, because when people would think that you're a strong person, it seems like you're always okay. People tend not to also ask about your feelings or emotions, and you feel like sometimes you also need a person who would really ask, how are you right now? So you really appreciate those small gestures, or anything that would make you feel also included, rather, no, or you also feel validated as well. That's what
Yeah.
I think, Doc Shake, yes.
Yeah, for me, yeah, I think your AQ is really highest because you know your purpose. You make your profession as a vacation. No, it's not a work that is just an obligation, but really a career and a vocation that is definitely lasting. No, and of course, as we definitely climb, no, with our professional work in the future for the students, I do hope that this will also be backed up by your values as a tamaraw, no, fortitude, excellence, uprightness, and bravery. Okay, of course, the values that you also had with your loved ones. Okay, and of course, really going to your purpose and mission. Okay, so thank you. And may I ask if there are some students who participated with their IQ? What are we have psychological assessment for AQ, but unfortunately, I cannot give it because it will be
Yeah.
too long. No, that's why I just have some value clarification activity with this AQ or some assessment, okay, for
Yes.
weighing your. Mm-mm.
Doc Shake, one student mentioned that this student is a climber, and then two mentioned that they are campers. So,
Yeah. So definitely I'm happy that somewhat you are not into the quitter, no? And if there are some quitters or campers, I do hope that you can make an action plan to really somewhat do something about it in order for you to climb to be climbers, no? And for those who are climbers, keep up the good work, and I do hope that you can really focus on your purpose and mission and your meaning in life so that you can definitely be rooted with your mission, okay? Because when you apply for work in the future, it's not just really money, 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 no, but it's really more of your purpose and mission and your meaning in life. Okay, that will definitely make you trudge, no, in this adversities, no, okay, and definitely go for your success. Okay, so thank you so much again, Sir Randall. And always remember that all of us, no, you too, and all of us are a field of energy and strength. Okay? And we really have to hold on to each other so that we can definitely have a high EQ as well, aside from our values. We have to help each other. That's why CAPO and GNC have this webinar to also support you, no, in your EQ, to your road to the wholeness, to your holistic psychological well-being, not only in your career, but even with your academic, personal, and social development. And I'll be having an activity, but I won't be calling Nano. And this is what they call the elevator incident. Okay? For example, I'm this girl, okay? And this guy is Sir Randall. No? And we are in FEU. Unfortunately, for example, we don't know each other. And unfortunately, I stepped on his foot and I never said sorry. Okay? So if you have a poor AQ, no, sometimes this situation can trigger you to have impulsive thoughts and negative thoughts. And you will think, no, Sir Randall, for example, will think of me if you have a poor AQ that you are what? That I am disrespectful. Okay? And that thought can become a belief, no? Because I never use my values, my perspective, my open-mindedness, no? That maybe that girl is only having some problem, no? And it's just accident, no? So if you cannot control that because of your perspective and you have a low AQ, then what will happen? Your feelings will be nervous, will be anxious, no? And it will be irritated, okay? And you will have a negative behavior that day, especially on your way to online learning. You will go to your online learning in the morning and you have a beautiful morning, but because of this situation and because of low AQ, okay, your thoughts were disturbed, your moods were disturbed, the negative behavior, the negative physical reaction. So the effect will be what? You don't want to go to your online learning because you got bad trip, no? You are bad trip for the full day because of that AQ and you were not able to bounce back. Okay? And what will happen? So it will definitely be a failure. Okay? Because of that low adversity quotient in that simple incident. Okay? So in the leadership freak, as quoted, that growth requires new ways of seeing. And I do hope that you can breathe. I do hope that you can use your perspective and open-mindedness to really see the problem, no? And have the what you call the positive response rather than complaining and negative reaction. Okay? Because that is just an accident. And in applying your AQ in your day-to-day life, no, and into your from simplest to the biggest problems that you have to have the four components. Okay, so control. What is the adverse? Was this adverse event inevitable? Okay, so where is the root cause of the problem? The root cause of the problem is not the accident, but the root cause of the problem is how we think. No? And the control in order for us to apply AQ is how we think of the problem. Okay? So that is the one that we can control. Okay? How we think for it not to be impulsive thoughts, no? But for it to be a thought with perspective and with open-mindedness. Okay? Number two, impact. Did I cause the adverse event or did it result from external forces? Okay? So definitely, it was caused by you. No? The adverse event was caused by you because of what? The problem is not the situation, but the problem is how you respond. No, how you negatively respond to that negative accident. Okay, rather than positively responding to that accident. Okay, and bread. No, yung lalim. How can I contain the negatives of the situation and generate currently unseen positives? It's still your thought processes, which is the root cause of the problem. Okay? And in the duration, the underlying cause of this event is that is it enduring or temporary? Okay? So with the negative incident and the negative thoughts that we have, it can be enduring and it can even lead to unforgiveness and negative life, no, of hate, of hurt, no, and sadness. Okay, so I do hope that we can navigate our AQ by really having the navigation of how we navigate, how we definitely in a healthy way navigate our thoughts, our feelings, our thoughts, our belief, our feelings, our behavior, and our physical reactions. So, according to Grout in 2020, that you impact the field and draw from it according to your beliefs and expectations. No? So the crucial there is if the thought become the belief, no? And if that belief were not really somewhat evaluated, then it can definitely be a negative belief that can lead to a negative feeling, behavior, and character, especially as you will become future professional. And in developing AQ, I do hope that you can see it, no? Have a wider perspective, have an open mind, no? Acknowledge change is needed, and have the acceptance. Okay? Number two, own your problem. Take ownership of the situation and the problem, and have the humility. Okay? Number three, you really have to deal with it and solve it. No? Be brave enough to confront, no? And not to go for denial or blaming. And I do hope that you can develop your action plan with bravery and at the same time with fortitude, with excellence and uprightness. And that is what they call responsibility. Okay? And number four, do it. I do hope that you can execute the change and have the bravery and continuously practice and persevere so that you won't be what? You won't be attacked with your problem and this won't affect your dreams, your success in life, okay? And your holistic well-being. And always remember that in order for us to really be successful, that our life is definitely what? Composed of our healthy thoughts, our healthy feelings, our behavior. And of course, the product of that is our character strength. And one of that is resilience. No? In order for us to face this adversity that can lead to our AQ. And of course, it will also be anchored by our hope by our gratitude, by our self-control, by our optimism, and you will what? You will definitely know your purpose and meaning, and you will be happy and at peace with your life. Okay? And very important, no, that you also connect to someone that you trust, so that you can also be mentored. And at the same time, I do hope that you will also somewhat have the humility to also really be anchored by an individual, especially if your problem, no, is somewhat really big, no, just like your loved ones. It can also be your teachers. It can also be our peer facilitators, your classmates, and of course us, your counselors and your advisors. Okay? So healthy connection and engagement, because always remember that a human being is always a social being. Okay? So always remember that in order for you to have a flourishing life in the positive psychology and education, I do hope that we are not just on the IQ, but I do hope that we also back it up by our well-being. Social emotional skills like self-control, awareness, decision making, a lot of character strength, especially of fortitude, excellence, uprightness, bravery, a lot of unconditional love and more, hope, of course, non-cognitive skills, happiness, and of course, our adversity quotient and a lot of quotients. Okay? And of course, a lot of perseverance and practice. And always remember that your life is your message, that your life, no, is really rooted from your healthy thoughts, healthy feelings, healthy behavior, healthy character that will give you the different types of quotients: adversity quotient, emotional quotient, okay, and a lot of well-being quotients. Okay? And always remember that credit to the owner that with our strength that we can create infinite possibilities that we never imagined. And one of that is not only academic, no, not only in our career, but holistic success as a Tamaraw. And I do hope that you be the stronger you. Eh? I do hope that you share your strength of AQ, especially for your number one neighbor, your home, your loved ones. And I do hope that you can also share it to our Tamaraw community. Okay? And share your strength of AQ and well-being to navigate in these uncertain times. So don't be afraid to be great now by your AQ. And according to Pablo Picasso, or one of our well-known painters, no, that the meaning of life is to find your gift of strength that is inherent with you, supported by our environmental strength, our God, our loved ones, our school, our our teachers, no, our friends, no. And I do hope that the purpose of life is to give it away and share it, no? Especially as you go back to your respective families. Maybe you're away from your families now. You can definitely connect with them, their classmates. Okay? And these are some of my well-being books that talks about AQ, character strengths with the Rex education. These are modular books. It's an 8 series books, and the proceeds of that will definitely go to my organization, the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, for the mental health and well-being advocacy that we are spreading in the country. Okay? So I do hope that you can check it out. This can also be your daily activities for your well-being and your adversity quotient. And of course, every Thursday and Saturday, we have a show with Father Tito Kaluwag. I'm playing there as a wonder counselor. And this is one of my community works with FEU, with Unila Foundation, and with the Arete Foundation of Ateneo and ABS-CBN, together with my FEU Guidance and Counseling and FEU. Okay? So this is Wonder Teacher for the youth, for the families, and of course for our dear teachers and schools. So this is every Thursday, 3 to 4 p.m. and Saturday, it's 4 to 5 p.m. I do hope that you can watch it. I'm playing there as a wonder counselor, backed up by social emotional learning, AQ, and a lot of character strengths. So I do hope that you learned something from this activity. I'm really thankful for the partnership of CAPO with the GNC for this CAPO talks that we have. No? And because of this, I do hope that we have the professional humility to stop something if there are realizations. And I do hope that with bravery, I do hope that we can start some action plans, especially increasing our AQ, no, okay, so that we can be holistically developed and successful. So I leave these reflections to all of you. Okay? And of course, this is my FB page and Instagram. Just in case that you want to reach me, you can reach me at my FB page and Instagram, Sheikh Guevara Hocson. My YouTube channel for the weekly videos that I'm doing with ABS-CBN in collab with FEU Guidance and Counseling. And of course, Sheikh Hocson. These are weekly videos of character strengths. You want to go for love, you want to go for perseverance, you want to develop resilience, happiness, forgiveness. So we have that, no? And of course, we also have a YouTube channel for FEU. That's FEU Guidance and Counseling. So we have a lot of real talks there, okay, about academic, personal, social, and career. And we also have the FEU Guidance and Counseling for the daily inspiration in our FB pages for the character strengths, and my LinkedIn for my professional linkage, Dr. Sheila Marie Sheikh Hoksan. So maraming salamat po. Be the source of strength because your strength and your AQ is inherent with you. And I do hope that you can share it. So God bless you all and be safe and be brave. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc Sheikh. It was very informative, impactful, and of course, insightful talk that we really enjoyed listening to. And of course, our students here are very much encouraged to really engage with you. Siguro, Doc Sheikh, we can start first no, about your question earlier about the symbol. Some of the students here had their answers no,
Oh
and
yeah,
really
sige,
interested.
sige. Thank you,
So,
dear.
one of the students here mentioned that the symbol that comes to my mind po is a lotus flower.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah. Because the lotus flower parang ano, no? Parang it lives, no? Kahit saan. So,
Yes, I know.
it can thrive, right?
Correct. And
Very good.
another one is interesting, no? AQ for this student is a greater. Cheese ba ito? Pwede, no? Or anything na pangkayod, di ba? It causes a change in form that might be painful, but it
Yeah.
transforms one into a more useful form.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oy, very good. I love that. No, that was very deep, no?
oo
And
nga.
I love that. Oo.
Interesting din to isa, Doc Shake, no? For me, AQ is a semicolon. So, pwedeng mag-rest
Yeah,
at
you can
mag-pause.
also definitely rest, no, with AQ so that you won't be bombarded, no? So self-care, self-kindness, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness are very important as well.
Oh, yung semicolon kasi is like a very long sentence, and then in the middle you can just pause, no, and refresh again the idea, no. So,
Yeah. Ako for me if you will ask me it's boundary, no?
mhm,
Uh Very important that you really go for boundaries at this time because yeah, this world is really very stressful, no? That you really have to really time for yourself, reward yourself, time for
mhm.
your loved ones, no? Time to breathe, no? And rest.
I think Doc Shake they really appreciate this very light-hearted talk or webinar because they also mentioned about they also answered this question, oh, what did you learn about the pandemic? One of the students here mentioned, this situation gave me an opportunity to be genuinely grateful for the simple things in life, such as my good health, my ability to walk,
Yeah.
my
The
ability to
mere
do the
fact that you
everyday
were alive,
chores.
no? Yeah,
Oo.
and you can breathe without oxygen. Oh, yeah, that is really a blessing. Mm.
Kasi daw we tend to forget these things because of the business of our life, no? The business quote unquote, no?
Yeah, and of course, if we are really thankful for the simplest to the biggest blessings that we have, then of course you will forget your problem, and it will also increase your AQ as well.
Yes, interesting no yung mga remarks nila, mga comments sa ating mga students. This one is one of the questions here, Doc Shake. Hello, Doc. How can I effectively train myself? No, he's using the word train, no?
Yeah,
Particularly to not think negatively because being alone all the time makes me feel isolated and no longer brings me peace. I'm not aware of my strengths because I don't enjoy doing what I am passionate about. Does that make me a
yeah,
loser po? I don't
yeah.
quit po,
So
but I'm not motivated as well.
so yeah, I love that question, and it's very important that you collect all that negative thoughts and then ask yourself, or maybe in a sheet of paper, or maybe through your laptop or through your phone, because I know that most of our students are really digital. No, make ask yourself, for example, am I really a loser? Okay, am I really a loser? Eh? And get the objective, no? Be objective about it, no? So am I really a loser? Okay, for example, you think that you are a loser because in your quiz you what? You had you had one mistake, no, or you fail in that quiz, no,
Mm-hmm.
will that one quiz, no, is that a gauge of becoming a failure if that is just only one quiz or one point because you tend to be perfectionist, no, because sometimes our negative thoughts are what, they are impulsive thoughts, no, wherein sometimes we cannot assess it. That's why we have to really reflect on it, no, and really get the facts of our thoughts, no. Okay, and at the same time, because this is also a product of our exaggeration, sometimes these impulsive thoughts will be somewhat really be a cognitive problem, okay, wherein this can also be what you call somewhat an exaggeration. We tend also to magnify it, no, okay, so we have to assess, no, and stop and think, am I really a loser, okay? What are the supporting evidences that am I really a loser, okay? What are the supporting evidences that I'm a winner, okay? And you can see that most of these things are really just cognitive dissonance, no? So my assignment is for you to research on cognitive dissonance. These are the root cause of our problem. That's why we have irrational thoughts and irrational life, no? And we tend to have a failing life or a loser life because of this cognitive dissonance. So what are those cognitive dissonance? Exaggeration, magnification, ano pa? Being fretful, overthinking, okay? All or nothing principle. When, for example, Randel, when Sir Randel, when you ask your student, okay, what are your thoughts? I'm a loser. I'm a loser, mom. I'm a loser. So so that is all or nothing principle, okay? And that can be your heart, that can be your character, and the ending will be you're a loser talaga. Okay? So reflect on it, okay?
Thank you, Doc Shake. I think for cognitive dissonance, the example that I give to my students is, for example, during the face-to-face, no,
Yeah, yeah.
the class is 7:30 a.m. And then unfortunately, you actually arrive school at 7:45, and you're actually in front of the door, and you see your teacher busy in the discussion. Now you don't know whether you will continue to enter the room or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So for me, I will
yeah,
still
correct.
come, diba?
Yes.
Because yeah, there's a reason for you to be late, no? Okay? For your reason to be late is maybe you had the traffic or maybe your discipline. Maybe you're not responsible, for example. So the ending of that, when you recalibrate your thoughts, do some action plan. You really have to discipline yourself. Sleep early, control the distractions, no? Know your boundaries. Okay?
Interesting. Thank you so much, Doc Shake. One
Yeah.
question also here is about resiliency, Doc. Good afternoon po, Doc. Resiliency is a good character of some Filipinos. But my question is, when should be resiliency be an answer, or when resiliency cannot be an answer? Kasi parang may idea tayo na minsan baka naman sobra na yung pagiging resilient, no? Pagiging toxic na, yung toxic resiliency na sinasabi nila. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What are your thoughts, Doc? Yeah.
Actually, in the Philippines kasi, resilience is really being celebrated, no? Na minsan, unfortunately, we get blinded, no? Kunyari, sa government or sa system, no? So it's very important na, of course, you are resilient, but at the same time, you also do something about the system. Okay? Para maging holistic resilience. Hindi lang yung contribution mo, but also the environment as well. Kaya, ako for me, my message, vote wisely. Dahil malapit na yung botohan. Naku, mga anak, mag-isip-isip kayo, no, ng tama at nakikita nyo na talagang grabe. Mahirap ang Pilipinas, no? I do hope that you can definitely think, no? So hindi tayo pwedeng laging resilient. But of course, also the system should really be naging political ano na to. Naging
but
political science.
but it's really very much connected, and I would say interesting to note that this is part of our decision making process na, Doc.
Yeah,
No,
and of course when we also apply with it when the in our career development, for example, you will become professional sa office, and you
mhm.
can see that there's really you are resilient, but at the same time there's corruption. Oh my golly, of course, don't think twice, no? Okay, back up yourself with another job, no? And at the same time, be a good example. And at the same time, if there's really no solution, just in case worst scenario, it's really the system, then back it up, no? And do something to get another job. Okay.
Yeah, I think I have heard some friends know mention that hindi naman ako tamad sa trabaho, it's just that I'm demotivated.
Yeah,
No?
totoo yan. No? Because for example, your boss, who is your number one example, is also tamad.
So the idea
But
po
of
is,
course,
yeah,
very important also na alam naman natin na hindi naman natin dapat gayahin yon, no?
yeah,
At lagay natin sa sarili natin if they are doing that, then I do hope that yan po yung pinag-aralan natin, 'di ba, sa FEU uprightness, that you still do your part, and at the same times that's what you call at the same time that's what you call the character strength of prudence, that regardless of the situation you still choose, no, to do the right thing.
yeah. So that's good that we are connecting the discussion in the workplace, the Doc Shake,
Yeah,
not just in the classroom in the university, but
actually
also
lahat
for
na nga eh.
o lahat na, no, pati sa
Meron ng
national.
government.
Oo, national level now. But this is a really interesting and very engaging discussion, Doc Shake, no? Kasi nakikita natin yung mga comments ng mga estudyante natin. They want to also ask, no, for your recommendation of some books, no, self-help books. Doc, can you recommend po some beautiful self self-help books po?
Yeah. So, meron ako actually yung slide nun pero hindi ko na pinakita. Pero isa sa pinaka gusto ko is Grit by Angela Duckworth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
For career development, you can also go for Who Moved My Cheese, no? Okay? And then some of the books also of Pamela Grout, okay? For positivity and force and energy. Um, Pwede rin yung kay Oettingen about self-control. And then of course, kay Carol Dweck, no? Of the mindset, no? Growth mindset for success. You can also go for, actually depende sa inyo eh, but most of my books are more into psychology. But of course, I have my books as well, the My Career Journey, no, that you can
Mm-hmm.
also use. And then recently, I also co-authored the book, no, with Unila Foundation. It's the Race Against Suicide Manual. It's for suicide prevention naman. Okay? And uh, I have also a toolkit, no, that we posted in the FEU Guidance and Counseling. It's the Resiliency Toolkit. It's a modular activity. It's a practical activity that you can also use. You can also check out our FB page for that, no? Okay?
Yeah.
And a lot more. Siguro, Sir Randall, baka pwede ka rin mag-share ng mga books.
Kaya nga, I think they are taking down notes kasi, Doc Shake, yeah, ano. Marami na silang
Yeah, of course, kay
mga
Paul
pool.
Stoltz din, di ba? About
Yeah.
AQ. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doc Shake, for those books, no, list na syempre, no, coming from Doc Shake. Yan, very ano yan. We parang you're trying to tell us, no, that these are the books that we need to read, no, more about, no. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
marami
you.
talaga. Tsaka siguro mga TEDx, manood din kayo. Kung medyo
Mhm.
hindi kayo bookworm, medyo kung visual kayo, go for some Khan Academy, get some courses from Coursera, Udemy, mga libre po yan, no? And ako ngayon, even though I'm old, I'll be having my class in October in the Fordham University for some trainings as well. So, very important that you have to really also recalibrate and invest on your career, because really the world is evolving, and if you want really no recalibrate, you will be left behind and sadness will come.
I agree, Doc Shake. I think we are in the last two questions po. Talaga ang daming questions pero I'm just trying our best na talaga makover to. Doc Shake, good afternoon, Doc. Do you recommend some ways po on how I can motivate myself to keep going on my chosen path now that I feel so unmotivated about it? And it seems like, and I feel like people whom I trust and lean on don't really listen to me anymore.
Yeah. So siguro one of the things that I can really tell you is really assess your negative thoughts. Okay. So for example, that your negative thoughts is that that there are no people that you can lean on. Always remember that there are a lot of people that loves you. Okay. Maybe they are just quiet, no, or silent, or maybe they don't came from your generation, wherein your generation is expressive. No. So for me, I go for mentoring, no? Okay? For my work in the counseling, no, and my community work, my mentor is the executive director of Unila Foundation. He's like a mom to me. Okay, who's been mentoring me. I have a mentor for my spiritual father. Tito Kaluwag is one of my mentors. I have my mentor in my marriage for the Couples for Christ. I have my mentor in the academe. I have some old people, no, na talagang most of my friends are adult kasi. Most of my friends are seniors. Of course, my parents, no? And I really go for mentoring, the humility to really be mentored and ask for help. And you can get really a lot of wisdom. At the same time, you can also read a lot of books and stories about our presidents, no, about our saints, yung mga talagang mga tao na nag-thrive, and you will be inspired. Okay? And of course, one of my mentors also is my husband. So, so siya kasi yung nagsasabi ng mga brutal fact ng buhay ko eh. What I need to change, no? Okay? So your loved ones can definitely be the people, no, that can really give you what is really what are really the things that you need to improve. And I do hope that you have the humility to really change it and do something about it. So ako yung humility at saka bravery, no, importante sa akin. No?
Thank you so much, Doc Shake, for reminding us about developing that intellectual humility, no, intellectual courage, so that we
Yeah.
will also listen to other people. Kasi kung iniisip namin, you're an accomplished psychologist, no,
Yeah, no,
psychometrician,
yeah,
teacher.
yeah.
Tapos inisip namin, okay, she's asking for a mentor or for mentoring session. Parang naisip namin, oo nga, no, kahit ikaw psychologist ka, you really need, of course, people na that would support you pa rin, of course, no?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
very very important 'yan, no? Kasi for me, ang trabaho ko talaga ay talagang ngayon lalo na ngayon more than ever. Parang itong time na ito yung dami naming counselees. Ito
mhm,
talaga yung pinaka full
yeah,
pack namin na talagang kahit yung mga counselors ko sumusuko sa dami. But of course, we are mission ready, no?
yeah.
And we really hold on to each other to really go for our mission. And we have a united guidance office. That's why, and a united FEU. Kaya kami nila Ma'am Babes, we really collaborate and help each other.
Thank you so much, no. Very reassuring to know how your mission is also benefiting all of us no, in the FEU community. Last question, no, Doc Shake. What's your
Yeah.
ultimate advice for people with low adversity quotients, and how can they help themselves to be better in dealing with life problems? Or how can we really support people with low adversity quotients?
Yeah, for me, ako siguro ang hirap ng tanong. No? But for me,
Pang thesis ba ito?
yeah, always going back to your purpose. Okay? So, paano ka magkakaroon ng purpose sa buhay? Okay? Go for self-awareness. Okay? So, when you go for self-awareness, get your weakness, get the wisdom of your weakness, and recalibrate it to become your strength. And then after that, practice, practice, practice. No? And after that, you will have what you call happiness with what you are doing, and then your meaning will follow because you're enjoying what you are doing and you're mastering it, no? And after that, a lot of opportunities and of course blessings will come along the way, and you will find your place this in this field that you have, or maybe in this earth or world that we have. Okay?
Thank you so much, Doc Shake. Very insightful. We really learned a lot from you today. Much as I would like to read all of your comments, we don't have the luxury of time, but we will ask Doc Shake if it's possible for her no, to reply to your questions, maybe online. But of
Yeah,
course, we will just collect these questions. These are really interesting
yeah, and of
questions.
course we have the tele well-being, which is an online
Yeah.
counseling. So in partnership with CAPO, we are also giving career counseling aside from academic and mental health concerns.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc Shake. There you have it. Before we officially conclude our Pep Talk webinar for today, we would like to present this certificate of appreciation to our webinar speaker this afternoon. Let me read the text. For our Eastern University Career and Placement Office, certificate of appreciation is awarded to Dr. Sheila Marie G. Hocson for her valuable contribution as speaker during the pre-employment preparation talk webinar series titled From A to Q, our adversity quotient, our strength, given the 17th day of September 2021 at Far Eastern University, Manila, signed Maria Carmencita Suva Alfonso, Director of FEU Career and Placement Office, and Generoso Pamitan Jr., PhD, Assistant Vice President for Academic Services. Doc Shake, before we end this webinar, are there any parting words, final thoughts, pieces of advice that you would like to share with our student participants? Doc Shake.
Yeah, so definitely your strength is inherent with you, no, supported by your environmental strength. So I do hope that don't look for it no outside, no, because you just have to really find it no, through your self-awareness, and really persevere and really have a purposeful effort to do something about it. And at the end, you will definitely be successful. So claim it, claim that success.
Thank you so much, Doc Shik. We had a very engaging discussion this afternoon and Q&A. It can be seen, no, with the responses of our students, no, from the chat box, no. At this juncture, thank you so much again, Doc Shik, for gracing this event with your
Yoy,
valuable
thank you, Sir
knowledge
Randall.
and
Grabe,
experience.
you're doing a great job. And thank you. I'm just like talking to a radio announcer.
But thank you, Doc Shik. I mean, we will be seeing you again next semester. So
Yeah, yeah.
it should be sinabi na on ano no on the live
Actually,
stream.
community service ko to sa FEU.
Correct. Thank you so much, Doc Shake. To all our student participants in attendance, please do not forget to answer the online student activity evaluation form, and we will provide you, of course, with the e-certificate of attendance. We would like to also invite you again to join us in the next exciting Pep Talk webinar on Friday, September 24. The topic is how to write a top-notch resume. For updates, please regularly visit the Career and Placement Office official Facebook page. And on behalf of the FEU Career and Placement Office, we would like to thank again the guidance and counseling for this collaboration with this particular webinar series. And of course, our media partner, digital media partner, the Marketing and Communication Office, care of Sir Ian Evasco for making this live webinar possible. Many thanks also to our dear students, faculty members, employees for joining us. We hope you learned a lot from Doc Shake's webinar this afternoon. And as we end, may we invite everyone to join us in singing the FEU hymn. This is again your MC Ron Gascon. Keep safe, everyone. Be brave. Tamaraos.